Hello, everyone, and I'm very excited today to have a conversation with Stanley. Stanley, my man, is from UK,
Gibraltar.
British Gibraltar, very close to
Something like
Spain,
that.
but
Yeah, you could
obviously,
call it something like that. From
yeah, but
Gibraltar.
obviously their own country. So very happy to be having this conversation with you. We'll be tapping a bit into your journey. You have quite an interesting journey. You said you will be trading for 4 years and all that stuff that we're gonna be getting into. And finally, you got funded, but we wanna speak a bit more deeper than just the funding process, but like how you actually got there and basically. The consistency, right? Which is the most important thing, the breakthrough moments that lead you to that. But if we want to start from the beginning, you want to introduce a bit yourself, where you're from, and also what was your journey previously previously to meet us.
So basically, I got into trading about 4.5 years ago. I got introduced to it by one of my uncle's friends. I heard he was like into crypto. He basically bought XRP like very, very cheap. And he came to speak to us one day and he was telling us how like every time XRP, because he bought it very cheap and he put like quite a lot of money. Told us like every time XRP went up like 20 cents, he was making like 60 grand. And I'm thinking like, bro, that sounds like crazy. And this is when crypto was booming. Like maybe it would move 20 cents every day. You know what I mean? Like this guy was making 60K daily and those numbers for me were like crazy. You know what I mean? Just from like normal jobs, I'm never gonna reach those numbers. So I liked that journey. I really wanted to inspire to something like that. And that was like the first thing that really got me into the financial markets and everything. And from there, he actually came over to my house one day and he basically showed me a strategy, which was a cheap Udemy $100 course strategy of support resistance. Like he just basically got a bit lucky, you could say, buying a nice area. And I started testing it. I started trading Bitcoin and Ethereum. And to be honest, like with every strategy, you get some wins, you get some losses, but I wasn't consistent profit, but I was losing more money than what I was winning. And I'm like, this cannot be the reality of trading. You know what I mean? There must be something else to it. It can't just be so simple, like draw a line on your screen, wait for a doji and buy. Like it sounds too good to be true, if you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
from there, I started digging like really deep into like trading. I ended up falling into the trap of like the YouTube social, like the influencer style thing, which basically
Yeah.
just sell you a course and like this is what we have, figure it out yourself. And I basically started doing that. I started trading a bit more Bitcoin and I actually got like quite lucky, you could say. I was able to get like the bottom of some altcoins and the thing is, I went in very big. I didn't know anything about risk management. I didn't have like break-even protocol. It was like I was like 18, 19. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hit a million or I'm gonna hit zero. You know, that was my mindset basically. Oh,
Yeah.
we're making it or we're not making it. And I was able to get really lucky, man. I caught some old coins. I maybe put like 5 grand at 15K leverage. And in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I was already on 80 grand. I bought some of the old coins, did the same thing. And I noticed with the strategy, I was winning at times, but then in one day I'd lose everything because I was like maybe doubling down, this and that. Like I'd taken maybe 5K to 40K like 4 or 5 times. That when I reached the 40K, I would blow it in one day. So I knew like this
Mm.
isn't long-term sustainable, if you know what I mean. And basically once I was floating these profits, this was towards Trump being elected. It was more or less like a buy the hype, sell the news type of event. Everyone already knew that Trump was most likely going to get elected, and the market was already going up with that. So I was floating profit. I was like 100 and maybe 100, 110K profit. I was on my
Mm.
Binance waking up every day, seeing the profit, like life's good, you know what I mean? We're chilling, like me doing like stories in my head, thinking what I'm gonna do next, like you know what I mean, like trying to make a dream basically. And I
For
remember
sure.
the day Trump went into office, I woke up the next day and I looked at my phone, and from like 110 floating in green, I just saw a big zero, and that was like, what have I done? You know what I mean? Like that was the rock bottom for me. Like all this time, all this effort, all these dreams that I had, like just went to waste from one day to another. Like
Yeah.
complete switch around in my life. And I was, bro, that was basically all the money I had, they put in there. Like I went all in, you know what I mean? I've always been the person that I go all in and everything. I wanted to be rich young and I'll do whatever it takes, you know what I mean? But obviously you can
Yeah.
do it with a lot more head. If I were to, like I've learned from you guys from the beginning, the journey would have been a lot more different. And once I hit that rock bottom stage, I'm like, look, I've lost a lot of money with crypto, I've lost a lot of money with trading. It's like now or never. You know what I mean? Like if it's or I give up now, which was not an option, or I try and make this work basically. And that's when
Mm.
I just started like again, I started now like I watch podcasts like of Wakar, like videos of you and stuff. And you guys were always talking about data, a lot of people talking about data and stuff. I'm like, okay, I still haven't bought your guys' course. I was still on like this whole strategy, but I'm like, okay, let me dig into the data. Let's see if this is actually like a thing, basically. And I remember it took like maybe 6, 7 months. I was like really digging into my data. I had like 2, 3, 4 years of price action back tested. a whole lot of data points, and I was sort of like the not on paper it made sense. I didn't really test in the live market yet, but on paper with the backtest I was profitable.
Yeah.
And that's when I came across one of Wakar's videos. I had subscribed to his email. He sent I was in the membership. I was in like this conflict. Like, okay, I've got something. I've spent like 6 months here working on something. I don't know if it works. But then this guy's promising me something that is proven. You know what I mean? Like, it's you guys are making money. Like, you've got students making money. Like, I don't know if to trust this when there's something here that's for sure. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that was the big step I had to make. I had to let go of everything I had done in the last few months, even without knowing if it would work or not. Just like to jump to something that was for sure. And as I had already wasted, bro, 4 years, like I told you, I'm like, I'm not here to waste any more time. You know what I mean? Like, if it cost me another 5 grand, which was like some hesitation for me, like just the price. But I also saw it as like as a good thing, because if it's expensive, it must be worth it. You know what I mean? Like, everyone else maybe sells a course for like £500, £1,000. Like, if it's a high price, there's a reason for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And bro, since I stepped in with you guys, like, game changer. Like, you can't compare to anyone or anything else there is in this industry. It's another level. I don't know how you guys have done it, but it's crazy. I promise you,
I
man.
appreciate the words. And I think you mentioned something very important also, that is like when people go through a journey of like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, right? Could be on their own, could be
Mhm.
buying other stuff, completely fine. But when you're gonna buy your next mentorship, next place, it always comes
Hurts.
with this doubt, because it's like, man, I've
Mhm.
been there. I've been there on that moment thinking this could be the potential place, but I've already feel that, of like, oh, this could be the place, but it didn't work out. This could be the place, but it didn't work out, right? And we fully understand that. And that's why I think it's very clear that our marketing, as you know, is not very aggressive, to say zero. Like, we don't post anything related to lifestyle or anything like that. We just want to try to provide value, and the people like yourself, you went yourself with the information or value we have online, go apply for 6 to 8 months, and you were seeing that on paper, even though it was deep demo, you could
Yeah,
see that it was working out. So imagine
exactly.
if I could be inside, and that basically looks like it was or made you taking the leap of faith. So I
For
also want
sure.
to tap a bit into the journey once inside, because obviously it's not like a perfect journey where like you join and automatically you are like up
That's
here,
all.
at
That's all.
all. You're gonna have periods of doubts. You're gonna have to rewire your brain a lot into how to see the market, on how we see it. And that's the reason, I know you know it, but just to comment it, why we have so much activity inside, because we understand how long it takes, or how many hours of activity it takes to rewire your brain to see in the market like we do. So how was that journey also
Mhm.
inside, where you went probably through some phases up to the consistency that you are in?
So basically, like when I first joined the mentorship, I basically like just started watching a few videos, this and that. I placed my first trade, was able to hit like a 10R, and I'm like, okay, this is like from here, we're going up, you know what I mean? And this is why like I also have my coach Naim, my one-on-one calls with him every day, and like that was basically like my lucky trade, you could say. It was a one-off trade. Then I started really digging deep into like the technicals, watching the daily live sessions, and I've like you said a lot of times, but I personally believe that with just a course it's really hard or impossible, I think, to get profitable. Like, you really need like the resources you guys have of the daily calls. You, Waka, you spend 3 4 hours on Wednesdays, Sundays explaining, us just seeing the same thing over. And I would speak with Naim a lot of times. Like, man, I told him I feel like I'm going crazy. Like, I'm doing the same thing over and over, and I'm not seeing progress. You know what I mean? But he's like, bro, just stick to it. Just stick to it. You will see the light at the end of the tunnel. And it's crazy to think, bro, because you just think, how is the light gonna come out if you're just doing the same and the same and the same? But it's crazy how it all just your eyes recognize the patterns, like it all just connects up, man. And that's why I think that with just a course, and they say here, do it yourself, is very, very difficult to become successful, because like there's so much tweaks and areas that you could improve, and you guys do exactly that. That you pinpoint our weak spots. It's just like super, super precise. The education you guys provide for us, man.
I'm very, very happy also for you, because this is a real journey, the one that you went through. And I also remember every single question that you've put into, and when even you had doubts, that I could feel it, on the way you were asking questions. So we fully understand. That's another thing, like educators, mentors, whoever you want to call it, they need to love this, because if you don't love it, like Stanley is not the first person that is a bit doubtful and asking questions. This happens on a day-to-day basis. So we really need to be very patient on how to educate and repeat everything so much without being tired of it, because we understand that then we have stories like you that your journey probably was up and down during a certain period of time, but then you start to click, and then it starts to everything make sense, and then you start to be in sync, or how we call market tempo, right? Going in sync with the market, which is extremely important. Going always with the volume or momentum.
That's been the game changer for me since you introduced the market tempo. That for me, like just sticking with the daily time frame, the higher time frames, that for me has been what's changed everything. Because I used to see myself get caught up in what Carl says a lot as well. You can anyone can place a winning trade, but like where success is removing the losing trades, if you know what I mean. And that market tempo is what makes you know like when should you be in the market, when should you stay out, and that has just changed the game for me completely. Like it's so
Yeah.
useful that thing, man,
Yeah,
for sure.
because if you are in sync with that and you understand when expansions are going to happen and when accumulations are going to happen and when can expand again, yeah, you will take some losses, but the wins that you take, they'll be big. But if you
Exactly.
are just, and we utilize the lower time frame, as you know, it's our expertise, let's say, but if you just are on M1 sitting super, super deep, you'll get lost
Get lost.
because you lost the picture or the context of everything. So obviously, everything relies around how we piece everything together. But something I also wanted to ask you, because I definitely can see you're not from Spain, you're from Gibraltar, or we're very close, but you're definitely very passionate, like Spanish people are, and I think everyone can see. So I want to know also, what was the best moment for you inside of WWE?
To be honest, it's just enjoying the full journey, man. Like since I started, I've just had that passion for it. Like I knew that I had to make this work. And even the days that I know that it's not working and I feel myself like a rock bottom, because like most of the days were like that. Like most of the days I was low. I wasn't seeing the progress in the beginning, and it's normal. Like it's gonna take time. It's not gonna be something that's gonna happen in a month. Just like enjoying the moment and knowing when you're in these low moments is when that statistic of 99% of people fail is in those low moments when everyone gives up. That's what makes the statistic. If you just keep at it and keep at it and keep at it, like success is inevitable. Like
Yeah.
if that's the thing in your head and it's the only thing you're willing to do and you're sacrificing all your time, like you cannot fail, in my opinion. I've always had that mindset. You just cannot fail. It's
Yeah.
as simple as.
100%, 100%. And the way, and we're also very happy to have people like yourself, because this is what also makes us successful as a company, right? Is not just having someone that shows up. He shows up but puts the work, following obviously every system that we have, knowing that it can play on the long term. So another thing that I wanted to ask you is, what measurable results you have right now? What was the game changer point for you, and how is that being solidified?
Like in what way?
By measurable results, I mean, like, for example, what were you were doing before, right? And you were telling me that you blow some accounts and all that stuff, versus now, how things are looking, how stable your account is. I know you passed an FTMO, but like, meaning how is that translating to percentages, for
The
example?
thing is, I hear a lot of people, like a lot of traders say, and I've always thought, like, how do you not know what the switch was? Like, how do you not know what that final click was for you to become profitable? And I've always been like, there has to be that one thing. And if I had to put something on it, like, there's not one thing that I can say, this is what it was. And it's always like amazed me, like if you're doing one thing and the next day you're profitable, there must be like one thing you've changed. But it's just like a cumulative, a bit of everything, man, just a bit of everything. But personally, what I've realized is because I don't like being wrong. I never used to like taking a loss, so that would always get me into a bit of a spiral. And mostly it was psychology, if I'm honest with you, because I would look back on my trades, and even Nine would tell me like you don't have a technical problem. Like your problem is you're just taking bad trades. And I would look back at them, and I would be taking trades like where my break and test is right below, and I'm trying to buy. Like it's just trying to get in too quick, trying to force trades. And I've noticed the quicker and easier I am to just like pass on setups and just get off my desk it's been the best way for me to become profitable. Just less is more in trading. That's what I believe, that in trading less is more, and that's what's really helped me, to be
Amazing,
honest.
amazing. So, what things do you do now that you couldn't do before? Maybe technically speaking, or on your trades. You mentioned one was the kind of like market tempo. Is there anything that comes also to mind?
To be honest, market tempo's been everything. Like the daily candle formation when you're in an indecision day, like that's really helped me as well, because you know you're stuck in that range. You still haven't got shown the hand. And to be honest, something that I like doing also is I always used to trade like the first leg. And I see my and I don't know why you always have such a rush, because I didn't mention in the beginning, but as soon as I joined WWE, I left my job. I went full time into trading,
Yeah.
I was in my like family business and I told my dad, Mila, like me, I feel like if I don't go all in on one thing, I cannot be doing the both. Like I really want this and I just have to give it my all, you know what I mean? Since I did that and I've just been going all in and just really like focusing on the minor details, like on the details of the daily candle, the ranges, and allowing that second leg, not being so aggressive, just allowing that second leg, seeing the failure, letting price show you the hand. Like that just gave me such a confidence because it's not a guessing game anymore. Like obviously it's probabilities, you're gonna win and you're gonna lose, but you feel so much more confident once you allow that and you know. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a feeling of like feel very confident in your analysis, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, 100%. I think that what you're mentioning, right? Being aligned with the higher time frame and knowing when the market is showing you the hand, because it shows you the hand. But you need to have that
Exactly.
perfect timing when it shows you the hand to be able to then go with the momentum or flow of the market. And I think that usually takes a bit, right, to train yourself. But once you get in there, it is extremely useful. And yeah, that's
Can't unsee
amazing.
it. Once you see it, you can't unsee
Yeah, 100%.
it.
And last thing that I would like to ask you is what would you say to anyone listening?
Basically, if you've been trading for a while, like I wouldn't go anywhere else. If I knew about you in the first year, like my journey would have been so much different. Like the evidence is there. You guys have made a lot of profitable traders. The amount of like education you guys have, it's you can't compare it. It's not just here's a course, like find out how to do it yourself. Like these guys are 24/7 on top of you. Like they're gonna if you really put in the work, you're gonna succeed. So if you're thinking about it, don't think about it too much and go head first. You know what I mean? Don't think about it.
Thank you very much, Stanley. Thank you very much for your time, your words. And as I said, it's also amazing for us to have people like yourself inside and at the same time with the work ethic and at the same time trusting us because we know it's not easy. So also having that leap of faith on us and our company also thank you for trusting us in your process. And it's a pleasure to have you inside and to see your growth over these months.
It's
So
my
thank you
pleasure,
very
man.
much and I'll see you inside.